Y'all keep asking me to build an AR without Technic. Well, today your wish comes true. But before we get to the cool stuff, we gotta actually build it. And well, I technically already did. It works like garbage, looks like garbage, and it's just not very awesome sauce. So here's the plan. First, we have to fix the mechanism, but to do that, we have to figure out what's wrong with it, which is actually pretty simple. So you see, the charging handle is actually just getting stuck on the roof. Essentially, the firing pin is being pushed upward into the plates by the trigger. Because plates have so many bumps, it causes anything sliding over to easily be caught on it. So the simple solution would just be to tile it off, but you can't place tiles upside down. And while this might sound like a hard problem to fix, the solution is actually a little bit more simple than you might think. If we take a close look at the plates, we'll see that the firing pin doesn't get stuck on the anti-studs. It actually gets stuck on the end of the plate. Because the anti-studs are so close together and are round, they don't actually cause the issue, but instead, it's just this part. So if we just play around with the placement of the plates, we can get the firing pin to only glide across the anti-studs. This works because the charging handle is only getting stuck in just one specific position. So if we simply move the plate at that position, we'll have a way smoother mechanism. Now, I hope I explained that well, but if you didn't understand it, then it's a good time for me to explain how the whole mechanism works. So if you've ever built a Lego gun, which you most likely have, then you'll know that the simplest designs consist of just two main parts, the trigger and the firing pin. And while most designs add other things like magazines, these two components are the only thing that you need to make a Lego gun work. But I didn't want the AR to be so simplistic. The main thing I try to implement in all of my Lego guns is that cool tactile feeling you get when shooting it. And such a basic mechanism doesn't really give you that feeling. It just makes you feel like you're holding a Nerf gun. So I needed to add something to make it feel more tactile. Like if you've ever felt the difference between a membrane and a mechanical keyboard, then you'll sort of understand what I mean. So while I can't add a magazine because of the design, I can still add a charging handle. This will give it a much more tactile feel. So how does this work? Well, imagine the simplest design possible. A firing pin and a trigger. You'll pull the firing pin back, it'll lock onto the trigger, and then when you pull it, it'll release the firing pin, sending it flying into the dart. Now, let's add a charging handle into the equation. Instead of pulling the firing pin back, you'll be pulling the charging handle. This will make it so that after you release it, after you pulled it back, it will return to its original position. This gives it a much more realistic and tactile feel. So hopefully you now understand how all this works. I know all of my subscribers are pretty smart, so you guys definitely do. But if you're not subscribed, make sure to do so because you will gain immense knowledge. Now let's move on to actually making this thing look like an AR instead of a potato. So I did most of these changes on a live stream, so I can't really show you piece by piece what I did, but I will show you essentially each thing. So first off, this top bit, I moved it back by a few studs just to be a little bit more accurate. I also added this. I actually can't remember if that was there before, if I added it. I couldn't tell you. And the other thing that I added was that I just extended the stock and used these plates to have it come out as sort of a separate section. I'll put on screen how it was before, and you can just see how much more accurate it is. So I'd say we have massively improved the design, so now I guess it's just time to test it. So let's set up some targets, load it with darts, and shoot. So of course, it's not going to be as powerful as a Technic brick shooter, but it still packs a serious punch. I honestly think this is my best No Technic build yet, but I will warn you, it's not the most reliable. Even after fixing all of the issues, it still gets stuck from time to time. But like I said earlier, my subscribers are very smart, so I'm sure that you guys can improve the design a little bit when you build it. And of course, yes, as always, I will be making a free tutorial for y'all, which should be coming out very soon. Okay, so now I want to put this thing to a real test. So we're going to compare it with two other things. My Technic AR, which definitely needs a redesign, and a Nerf AR. So let's get straight into it. We're going to compare them in a few different ways. First, which one shoots the farthest. Second, which one has more functions. Third, which one looks the best. Fourth, which one is the most accurate. Fifth, which one can hold the most darts. Sixth, which one is the easiest to build, excluding the Nerf gun. And seventh, which one has the best value. Now that is a lot of things to compare, but I think it'll be a really fun segment. So first, let's test the accuracy and how far they shoot. Starting with the No Technic one, we can see that it shoots relatively far, but not really enough to be able to hit a target from across the room. It's definitely only going to work in really close quarters. So now for the Technic version, we can see it is much more powerful. It probably shoots around 15 to 30 feet. So this one clearly beats the No Technic, but what about the Nerf? Well, in my experience, it does shoot a little farther, but it is incredibly inaccurate. So let's talk about that accuracy. The No Technic one falls really short here once again. And like I just said, the Nerf is terribly inaccurate. But as you can see in this video, the Technic one is so accurate that it hits exactly where the laser on it is pointing. So we'll give the No Technic 2 points, 1 for accuracy, 1 for power. The Technic will get 2 points for power and 3 for accuracy, and the Nerf will get 3 points for power, 2 for accuracy. So now, which one has the most functions? Well, the No Technic one has a charging handle, and it of course shoots. The Technic has a mag, but doesn't have a charging handle. And the Nerf has a charging thingamajig, I don't really know what to call it, and a mag. So, we'll give the No Technic 1 point, the Technic one will tie with 1 point, and the Nerf can get 2 points. This puts the No Technic at only 3 points, the Technic at 6 points, and the Nerf at 7. Now we need to see which the best based on looks. This is a comparison the No Technic can finally shine at. It is definitely the most accurate looking, but the Nerf definitely looks more fleshed out. So we'll give them both 2 points, and the ugly Technic one will get 1. So now, which one can hold the most darts? Well, the Technic one can hold an infinite amount of darts because you can just build a bigger mag. So we'll give it 3 points. The Nerf's mag that it came with can hold 12, which is definitely better than the one that No Technic can hold. So we'll give the No Technic 1 point and the Nerf 2. This puts the No Technic at 6 points, the Technic at 11, and the Nerf is also tied at 11. The No Technic is definitely falling behind, but I have some more comparisons that can definitely boost it up. So now, which one is the easiest to build? We'll exclude the Nerf on this one since you don't build it. Well, the No Technic is definitely easier than the Technic, so we'll give it 2 points. And the Technic can have 1 point. Well, now it's time for the final question. Which one is the best value? If I remembered correctly, the Nerf was around 25 bucks. And while the No Technic and Technic are both more expensive to buy the parts, there is definitely a good chance you already have them. And because it's more likely that you have the No Technic parts, we'll give it 3 points, the Technic 2, and the Nerf 1. So now, the final score comes out to, drum roll please, 11 for the No Technic, 12 for the Nerf, and 14 for the Technic. So yeah, I kind of just roasted my own No Technic gun that this whole video was about. And obviously the Technic one's better, but the point of the No Technic one is just so that people who don't have that many Technic parts can build it. But I don't really know how to end this video. I don't really have a good outro idea, so I guess goodbye.